Hello everyone, welcome back to the session. So, in this session, we will learn about what is Redux. That's what I told, right, in the last one. So, what is Redux and what is the architecture of the Redux and how what is the application of the Redux? We will learn about it, and we along with the implementation in the programmatical way. So, let's go with a step-by-step process. So, before let me start the server. So where we are, ls for check the folder, react ls, so npm start. So we are starting the server, it will be set. So in the previous we have done this one, right, navigation stuff. So now we don't care about that one. For now we will take care of Redux. What is Redux? So let me create one thing. New else, let me create home. Okay, so let's go dive in. Concentrate on this Redux stuff, which is the most important one for means like a state management in the globally. Okay, let's go dive into that. So I told you, right, Redux. So basically in the previous one, what we have done from parent to, let's take it as a parent, and let's take it as a parent here, and this is one child, and this is another child, and this is another child. Okay, so let me take as parent child 1, child 2, child 3. So here we have multiple cases of how we are I will write it as a notes. Okay, keep it as a notes so that you will get an idea here itself. So parent to child means we will use props. Okay, parent to grandchild or any other childs, what we are using, props drilling, so that whenever we are sending the data from parent to child to grandchild, like that how we are doing it, and child to parent equal to callback function. So with the help of callback function we will use, or else context API. Nothing context API is nothing but same like a Redux store, but right now in the trending technology we are using mostly the Redux where the clients in the US clients what we are using, or UK clients, everywhere the Redux is the most thing compared to the context API, because it's a large scale application which we can manage the data globally. So that is the main difference between context why we are using React Redux instead of context API. So let's go with the concept. I have a case scenario, like if we want to pass data from child 1 to child 3. Okay, how will you pass it? So as you can see, if we want to pass the data from child 1 to child 3, how we can do it? Okay, for example, child 1 to child 3, you can't send the data directly. Okay, for example, if you want to transfer the data from child 1 to child 3, you have to go for the parent using the callback, then from the parent you have to send it to the child 3 using the props. Or else for any in case if we have any child 4 here, or else child 5 here, which are the grandchilds of this one. Okay, how will you do it? From child 1 to parent, and parent to child 3, then child 3 to child 4. That is how we will do it, the passing the data. Or else from child 1 to here, you can't do like same like you here you can't build the function like directly pass the data from child 1 to child 5, right? So to overcome this case scenario, means like to overcome the scenario of passing the data, okay, what we will do is we will use a global storage. Means storage means nothing but state. Here state is what? Storing the data, right? That is what I have told you, what is the meaning of state. So now, so for example, so this is the meaning of state. So if state is storage of component, each state has different components, right? So if we have global state to maintain all components is called store. Ignore the spelling mistakes. So to maintain all the components is called as store. That is what we are using here, concept of main, like in Redux. So how means, for example, I'll tell you, this is a store, okay, this is a store. Now if you transfer data from here to parent, child to store, child to this one, and here, and also here, okay, whatever it is, whatever component, irrespective of child and parent, you are transferring the complete data into the store, where store inside that it will have individual states. For example, this is a component state 1 and this is a component state 2. Like see, this is a component state 1, means like a state of component 1, like child 1, and this is the state of child 2, and this is the state of parent, and this is the state of child 3 or child 5. That's how it will store everything inside that store in its global storage, which is called store. So that, for example, I have told you, right, in case if I want to pass the data, means call the data from to child 3 from the child 1, how will you call it? So to call it in the previously, like parent and props drilling and callback function, all these things we will use. Instead of that, if you pass every data into the store, then you can directly call here. For example, now see, now I have called the, means I have passed everything, I have stored the data from the component to here. Now I want the parent data to the child 3, or else I want the parent data to the child 5, where irrespective of props drilling, I will just do it here. For example, I want the parent data from child 1 to child 5, I will just, where is the child 1? From here to child 3, or else here to child 6. For example, instead of callback, I want to transfer the data from child 2 to parent, you can do this one. See, simple. I will tell you an example. Like we have an example. Consider this as a headquarters, as a bank. Let's take as a bank example, okay, where bank as an example, where headquarters, it is this one is a headquarters, okay, and these are the separate branches for all the branch 1 in one district, or else one town, branch 2 is one town, and branch 3 is another town, okay. Like that we have multiple branches for multiple towns in the state bank. So for example, you are the candidate, like you are the customer, okay, you are the customer going to the bank, but you have the home branch, like you have the home branch, where you have the home branch, you have the home branch in the parent, like headquarters branch you have, okay, but you are not available there, and you want to do some data or else to work and anything in other branch which is in the another town, like if you are in here, okay, in the this branch, like a branch file. Okay, if you are in the branch 5 and you want the data which is in the, but you have all the data in the headquarters, right? So for that, instead of doing like if you want means you have to go there and the headquarters should send the data, and that data you will check it and everything. So what banks, or it's any real life scenario, what they will do, they will make as a centralized thing which we called as, some places depend on, we will make it centralized so that it can be accessed anywhere irrespective of any branches. So if you want your account details, you can directly do it in the branch file. You can get it in the branch file instead of going over headquarters or any work in the headquarters. That is the same example I'm saying in real life scenario integrating, just I'm trying to integrate that. So here you can see that is the main advantage of centralizing thing, which in our programming so in our programming syntax, in means in the React concept, what we'll use as a Redux. That's how we got a concept called centralized one, which is called store, where in the store we will store the data everything in a component way, and in that component we will call the data and we will send the data irrespective of any component, so that you can grab the data anywhere and you can use that in a however you want it, irrespective of props and like a callback. And for example, you can ask me now why we are using then props or props drilling or callback functions or context API instead of this one Redux. Redux mostly used for large scale applications. Okay, I will say now, for example, I will duplicate this. So let me save it, save as. Okay, now if I take new open, or else I'll do one thing here only, I will keep it. So let me use another thing which we don't need the server. So Redux, what's it? Redux is used only in large scale applications so that the data can be manageable in all formats. So what I'm trying to say is, irrespective of any component, if you want to use, means you will use the Redux. But that too, if you have n number of components or more components and you want to check anywhere the components which we needed it, at that time only you will use Redux. So for example, you have home page and you have only home page. Okay, let me show you one example. If you have home page and only 3 components have counter component, home component, props component, what you'll do? Redux is using here. Redux is a waste of time and waste of resources and waste of everything for the client and also for the developer point of view, for us also. So instead of using this Redux, we will do it like props. That's what we have done here, right? That's what we have done. Props, we are sending it a home component and we are sending that component here, and we will passing the data however we need it, we are showing it. So that is the main difference of like Redux, main advantage of the Redux usage. So let's dive deep into the programmatical now, so that in programmatical you will understand what is the store and what is the cycle. So before going into programmatical, I want to explain another thing, how we will transfer the Redux. Now you got why we are why we are transferring. You got why Redux, right? Now how to transfer one second, sorry, transfer or get the state data from the store. Okay, so in Redux mostly we have 3 components. Okay, First one is how the cycle I will tell you. I will tell you here steps so that you can understand in detail. First one, component 1, passing. To understand it easily, I am saying sending state data to reducer via use dispatch hook. Okay, this is the first step. So what a reducer will do, takes the state data and runs the business logic and sends the updated state data to the store. What will store will do, takes the state data and saves it in the store along with the updated state. Okay, now how we are sending the store to, for example, transferring state data from component 1 to component 5. Okay, like child 1 to child 5 or else child 1 to any other component. Okay, now what we'll do here, component 5 will takes the state data from the store, I will say updated state data from the store via use selector hook. So this is the basic 4 steps what we will do and how what are those things and everything. So you know, component 1 is a component A and component B is a component 5 is a receiving data. Okay, and reducer I will tell you what it is, and store is the thing which I have done till now. So let me explain you in detail here, like Redux image. So I don't want to waste the time of so sorry, the video got stopped unfortunately. So here I don't want to waste the time of here with the clicking, means like creating that one everything. So I will show you the architecture in Redux here itself. You will understand what is that and everything. So here in the Redux, what you can see is this is the UI where I am sending the data, state data, with the help of dispatch hook, where in the dispatch it will trigger the action. What is the meaning of action generally? Action means nothing but it will do the things operation what we're using. So here in the action it will do the reducer thing, where reducers it will save the data, means like it will do the business logic what you are doing, and after that it will save the updated data. For example, here onwards I am sending A as 0. Okay, with the help of use dispatch hook I am sending the data A as a 0, and I am with the help of action when it is getting into reducer, where in reducer I am giving an increment function like for button increase I want to increase the function to a value. Whenever I click the button it should increase 1 value, means +1 +1 it should be increment. So what is the action here? Button is the action. So with the help of use dispatch, when the action is occurred in the reducer, the increment function like a value equal to 1, and again when clicking on action it will be 2, and clicking on action it will be 3. It will like that it will updated, and once after this updated one it will store into the store. So the state data will be stored here. So now if you want to show that data in another component like component 2 or component 3, so here when you are sending the data and you are getting this data from store, you will send the data which is updated one. So here A0 and it will be like 0. Once the logic is done it will be 1. So 1 you will show the 1. So that here you no need to change the data unnecessarily, like you no need to transfer the data from one component to any grandchild or any other component with the props telling, irrespective of other components, you can directly do this one. This is called as Redux architecture, which is the basic flow of what is Redux. Okay, now we will go with the programmatically what is the Redux and everything so that you will understand how to build the Redux in real life scenario. So let me delete unnecessary stuff. I don't want to make this one. Move to trash, and move to trash. We no need of this one also. So I think index.cs, index.js, app.js. Okay. So first of all, we have to install the React component npm module. So what is that npm module? Redux npm. Once you get it, you will get Redux npm module and copy it, and you have to control C to close it. Now you have to, what do you have to do? Installation. That is what how we are doing it here. So we can write npm install react -redux. This is the common structure, means like how we are installing it. Once you see there is no Redux, now you can see we got Redux, and here also Redux is added. Okay, that's how we are installing the Redux. So once the Redux is installed, we will go with the further flow what we have to do. So we no need of this one for now. So first of all, let's create in this one, make sure always create with the store.js where the storing the data, so that here we have to send the data what we want to, means import the data what we want to. So import, what we'll do, creating the store. First we have to create the store, right? Like where we have to do it, then Redux. So once it's created, now let's make an initial state of count in like initial state. What we can do is count we can use, so that to avoid confusions in the variable declarations, we will use count. Sorry, here it's an object, so it will be like this. Now here reducer function we will use. What is the, here it's in Redux, so here initial state what we have done. So reducer function means increment of the thing. So constant counter reducer, and I am giving as a state. I will give first an arrow function, where inside the arrow function I will use a state as argument, which is state as an argument which is an initial state, which is coming, which we are taking with the help of action triggering, and along with the state we will take what it is, action. That's what we are doing. With the help of action, the initial state also will be transferred into the reducer. So we are taking that as an arguments here, so that parameters for triggering this action. Then I will use the switch case, where the switch case what will tell action type of action, it's an event action or how it is. Based on the type also we will use the thing. For example, case we have increment, means we are incrementing the data with the type of case. So what will be returning? So what we will return is state count plus 1, not this one. So state state dot count, initial state, right? Where initial state equals state, and state dot count we are adding plus 1. So now once a case is done, we will do same for decrement also. Decrement and state count -1. So after what we have default, in case there is no action or anything, what will be there? Nothing will change, so return the state. So I think everything is looks fine. Oh, here we have written this one. So control X, it's a square bracket I have written, control V. Okay, so we got it, action type and increment case and return scenario, where we are getting here constant initialization and reducer, where we are getting initial state with along with the action, where in action dot type and based up if the type is increment, we are returning the data with this case, or if the type is decrement, we are returning the data with -1, and if it is default, we are returning as a state. That's how we are doing it here. So now we have created the reducer, so we will create the Redux store. So this is what this function, right? Store.js. So constant store equal to new, instead of new I'll use create store what we have used above. So for counter reducer, so constant. Okay, so once we got export default store, so this is the flow. Now let's create a React component. Errors, don't worry, it will because of the things which we are not starting the server and everything, it will takes time. So let's do creating a React component with the counter.js file for now. So counter.js, inside that counter.js are like imr, where importing with React, then import, we have to import the roots, right, from, let's keep it like that so that it will be imported automatically. So let me delete it. So what is the function? Constant counter equal to arrow function, where inside that counter function constant count equal to, you are selecting the data which is in the with the help of uselector hook. So what uselector will do, it will take the grab the data from the store. So state is the nothing but state dot count. Okay, that is the thing here, and after that we are dispatching the state. Once we are showing the state and everything, we will use dispatch as a hook, where in dispatching hook we will trigger. So let's import, I think automation, some browser issue I have. So use selector, use dispatch from React type and Redux. So this is the function. So what we will do inside the function also we will have return. Same, everything is common. Just we are using transferring the data. Nothing common, counter function only, but we are transferring the data into store. That's it. So this is like count. What will be the count? So here it will be count, and that count along with that use button, where inside the button on click we have another function, because on click is a function, right? So what we will give as a function where event is happening, and use dispatch of, we are giving type what is the type we are giving here? Increment. That is the type we will copy here, so that the name should be same. So let's Control C and Control V and decrement. Here Control C and here Control V, decrement, increment, decrement. So that is what we are doing here. So this will be the thing which we will render. So this one, and after that your saving column and exporting the thing, export default counter. So this is what exporting default as a counter. Now let's go with Redux provider. Means all the things will happen here Redux provider only, right? So we no need of this one for now, which I deleted it. So now I will import so provider, where it provides the Redux store to the application. So Redux provider from Redux. After that importing the store, where importing everything will happen here. So import store from store. After that what we can import, we have to import the counter, right? Counter function from counter.js. Okay, now React render, DOM render, root, and React DOM create root, where inside this we will write provider. So what will be the provider? So provider, provider, closing the session, and here counter. So we have the basic setup, everything what we want to state, show, and now clear npm start. Cannot resolve. So cannot contact nodes, where we have that command result. Okay, nav.js, I think we have these things. So I think we no need of these things. So let's keep it aside. uh, so we have removed unnecessary stuff in app.js, and let's keep welcome to Redux component. Okay, now showing state dot. Okay, here it is. The issue is that we have given state dot, but we have to declare it to where it had to save. So we have to save inside the count only again. So showing revertals here, we have removed it. Okay, here this is commented, and get state. Okay, here in the provider we have to provide the stored data where we want to transfer or get the data. See, now we got it. So welcome to Redux component, where the component increasing and it's decreasing. With the help of Redux store only we have done this. Okay, so we can have the extension also. If you want, you can have that Redux extension to check the data. So here it is the dev tool where we can check it. So let me add into the Chrome. So pin it. So this is the Redux. Oh, let me open it in the right. See, when I'm increasing it, increment, I can use the Redux tool to transfer the action data, where we have to do few setup things here. So Redux I will tell in the real project how we are applying this extension. For now you can keep in mind that this is the flow of Redux, where you will get as a Redux, what is that, image. So we are transferring the image and we are getting new action, and this one is reducer and store and dispatch. So how I will show you now. So let me close this. See, first of all I'm initializing the state. And that initialization state, I am storing it initial component, which is called here counter.js, which is count equal to, we are getting the state dot count from the use selector, which is stored in the store. So initially it will be the 0. So again, once I give counter as action, button click as a dispatch action hook I am using, and I am giving a type of increment of action. Triggering this action means increment what in the store it will do. It will just, what will do it will just use, and it will do the count function, which is taking from the initial state, which is a state equal to initial state value, state dot count, and increment it. And after that, based on action type, we got it right, so it will be stored in the store. So this output of count reducer will be stored in the store, which is create store, we have created it. So that store we will use it here in index.js for provider thing, where we will provide the store and it will get it. Here we are getting the case like in counter.js, we are bringing that count again from the help of use selector hook from the state.state count, which is the state means the state of action dot type. So here the state dot count, where initial state dot count, it will be there, and it will be it will be declared as a count value, which is updated state. That updated state we are showing here. So this is the flow how we are doing Redux tool, like Redux thing. Redux toolkit we will use in the further. For now you can understand what is the flow and everything of Redux and Redux, what we have learned, why Redux and how Redux. So how Redux works we will use, and how the transfers data, everything we have learned everything in the steps. So that's it for this session. So till now you have learned about the React.js with the concepts, and along complete with increment and component, and what are the dynamic means like single page application, and what is the event handlers, and what are the functional and class based components, along with the stylings of that, and along with that interaction with the components. And then you have learned about the props drilling, and after that you have learned about props drilling and map for getting the data, and for sending the data also you have used with the help of use effect how we are sending the data, and somewhat hooks like use effect, use reducer, and use state for balancing the state. And finally you have learned about the Redux, which is global state management. So these are the things all you have learned till now in the React. So in the further front end part up to here, as a MERN stack I have told you, right, full stack means front end and plus combination of back end. So if you learn now front end from HTML, what you have learned, CSS what you have learned, JavaScript what you have learned, and React.js, this is more than enough for become as a front end developer. So next class we will start with a backend developer, where we will learn Node.js with Express.js and MongoDB as database. MongoDB. Okay. So this is called backend part, and this is what front end part. And transferring of data from here, we will use the API, which is calling from API here and sending with API using the map of list running. So this is how we will do everything in the front end part. Means these are the most of the things in the daily life scenario we will use in the front end part in a real time experience. So the classes which are done now, right now you can learn, means with the knowledge of this, and doing somewhat coding practice in your daily life sessions every day with the consistency, you can become a good front end developer, and in case the React developer with a minimum of 3 years to 5 years of experience. That is the knowledge I have shared till now. So in the next session we will learn about the Node.js and further the things. Okay, thank you.